Hello and welcome everyone to July's First Friday podcast webinar series. It's the Conscious Awareness Maintenance Series webinar slash podcast for July. Welcome everyone. My name is Laura Newberry Yoakley. I am a holistic leadership coach. I am a Reiki master. I am an author. I'm a mom. And most importantly, I'm me. Slowly and surely learning and peeling back the layers of what that means. And what a pleasure it is. I am so thrilled to be with you today. It is July 1st, the first Friday of July in 2020. But keep in mind, this content is evergreen. So you can listen to it anytime. Hopefully the intention is made that something in here work and apply in your life and help you heal, help you find happiness, help you find wholeness, which is already there, just kind of aligning yourself to that idea. So we have a lot to talk about today, and I'm so thankful that I get to be here with you. So First Fridays is it's a webinar, but it also goes with this book that I wrote, the calendar that I wrote called Healing Calendar 365, and it's awesome. So we're going to kind of use that as the guide through here just to kind of help you get on your way. So first and foremost, again, I'm Laura Newberry Yoakley, author, Reiki master, all around unique individual. I know we all are, and I'm so excited that I get to spend time with you to learn about your uniqueness. Bring it, bring your authenticity, bring you as you are. All right. So welcome. Make yourself comfortable. And again, that is super subjective. Whatever makes you feel comfortable is what you should do. Don't listen to me because maybe I think drinking warm beverages in July is actually a good idea, or, covering up with a blanket when it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit out. You just never know. So find that comfortable space. I'm in my Reiki room. I have a Reiki table here. I have a desk here. I have an altar here. I have a Buddha here. That's me, but that may not be you. So find that happy space. If it's in a quiet space with your Bible, find it. If there's no sacred texts there, but there's a blank journal, that's great too. So just really come as you are, and you are welcome to be here. So again, I mentioned Healing Calendar 365. This is the calendar that I needed. So I wrote it because I couldn't find all of those cool pieces together. So it's all here. And really, it's dying to be an app. So that's next. We're going to start on page 80, week 29. We're making our way through. This is great. So if you haven't listened to January, February, March, April, May, June, go back and listen, because that'll give you some insights. And just, hey, if you're starting right here, start right here. That's great. So grab a pen, grab your Healing Calendar 365. You can get it on Amazon, or you can get it on sonrisaproducts.com. I will autograph it for you. Either way, that's great. But say you don't have this, then come with your journal. Come with blank pages to get started. Whatever it is you have. This is my journal with paper falling out. It's great. But if you want to bring your journal, say your journal is a smaller journal, blank pages, bring that. Whatever it is you have, show up, and we'll get started. Holistic leadership. You've probably heard a lot about leadership these days. I know my favorite is Brené Brown. I started reading her when she just started about her shame and vulnerability work back in 2007. That was when she published her first book. I was on a business trip and I found a bookstore. We were walking around and I went to the clearance rack because I love that hunter-gatherer, find a deal mentality. And her book was on the sales rack and I bought it. And it was called I Thought It Was Just Me. That's her first book. And she's been with me all the way through my spiritual journey, off and on, watching her TED Talk, watching her, listening to her podcast, reading her books, talking about shame and guilt, vulnerability, empathy, compassion, all these things. And really, it is so easy to learn and research and study leadership. It is quite another to practice it with other people, let alone practice it with yourself. So leadership in this context is about knowing who you are so you can help others be fully who they are. And it is really kind of a nice mindset shift from really all about me to all about you. And if you're trying to lead where you're still in that all about me mode, it's really rough and tough. So holistic leadership really focuses on that integrity. It's slow, it's code for self-exploration, and it's all about self-appreciation, self-care right now. That's enormous. But if you can do what you say you'll do and hold on to that, then it'll be better for you. Definitely better for you. In the Healing Calendar 365, there is a holistic leadership assessment, which goes into 10 sections of your life: beingness, doingness, self-awareness, social surroundings, interpersonal relationships, spiritual practices, financial wealth and health there, personal health and hygiene, self-care practices, and physical surroundings. And then you can go in and fill out that questionnaire for each one of those sections. It's really simple. It's like the metric system. It's based on 10. So you can go through and answer those questions. Say you get a 5 on 10. Say you get a 6 on 10, say you get a 10 on 10, you'll be able to kind of gauge with numbers in a quantifiable way how you are doing, and where you're not doing, which is huge. So then you'll be able to notice what's going on. So your observations, not judgments, are going to be crucial here, just to give you kind of a new perspective as your own observer. And then compare, not judge, compare, observe, learn, listen to what's going on here. If you haven't taken it yet, what's important is to take that baseline test and then start to track based on, okay, I'm going to insert some self-care this month. Watch what happens to your self-care area. Or I'm going to start taking a shower every day. I know everyone around you, your family, your coworkers, they'll all thank you for it. Watch what happens when you start taking care of yourself in that way. It's amazing. And you don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to do it right. And you can't do it wrong. And that's awesome. But this is kind of fun because then you can look at the monthly average, take, up to 7. We've done 7 months so far in 2022. I can't believe it. What happened? Actually 6 months, right? We're starting our 7th month. You'll be able to do that math, get that monthly average. What's your normal, right? Whatever that is. And then how are we doing quarterly wise? We are finishing our 2nd quarter. We're going to roll right into 3rd quarter here. We'll see what happens, but it's great to just kind of have that moment and that way and that space to observe yourself. And so that's what's cool about this. It's kind of your co-author. You can be the co-author here. There's a lot of space to fill in, but the test is awesome. So there you go. All right. So enough about that. If you want to stop me, or we're going to take a break here, you can take your assessment and then, journal about it. Tell me what you see. Tell yourself what you're noticing, all that. So a deep breath here. We're going to center and settle, and we're going to move inward. This is all about noticing what's going on with you. Imagine that every everything and everyone in your life is a reflection of your spiritual growth. When I realized that, it was shocking at how much work I had to do on myself. The healing that was required, the opening that was required, the letting go that was required, and the caring that was required to love myself, to fall in love and stay in love so that I could be in love with other people, because I started from that space. That was huge. And so this is a work in progress, but it's for you. It is for you. And it just so happens that that work will affect your relationships, whether you are in leadership or whether you are being led, or you are a peer leader side by side in a workplace, at home, in the community, in your house. This is for you, a gift, an investment for you. So, as customary in our podcasts thus far, I've started using this deck. This is the Answer is Simple deck by Sonia Choquette, and it's awesome. We've been drawing a card each month to kind of give ourselves some fun guidance, and so let's do it for June. This is for July. This is the first day of July. Sorry, I'm lovely and confused. It's okay. So there's a booklet here. And this is written by Sonia Choquette. She is a world-renowned author. She is a storyteller. She is a vibrational healer. She is a sixth sensory spiritual teacher. And she's an international demand, which is so cool. People are looking for her guidance, her wisdom, her capacity to heal the soul. She's awesome, and I only know her through her cards. She's the author of several best-selling books, including Diary of a Psychic, Ask Your Guides, and Trust Your Vibes, and numerous other audio programs and card decks. Her website is Sonia Choquette, CHOQUETTE.com, and I am honored to be featuring her deck in this podcast for July. So for July, let's go. I'm going to shuffle the cards, and we're going to take a card out of the deck, and I'm going to read the guidance for us to really focus on this month. Here we go. Cut the deck. Here it is. So thank God, number 55 is our guidance. Okay. Let me read the book. Number 55. I'm going to read it to you, and then we'll go on. She talks a lot about in this book the fight between spirit and ego. Ego likes to cloud, spirit likes to be open. And she's awesome about giving strategies and questions and journaling about how to suspend or distract your ego so that your spirit can come through. So when we're talking about thanking God here, she says, the answer is simple. Thank God. The ego focuses on lack and therefore creates it. So whatever you're focusing on, you're creating. The spirit concentrates on the endless stream of gifts God gives us, and thus creates that. So abundance versus scarcity. Yes, abundance, spirit, God, I'm in. This is because the greatest blessing the divine bestows on us is the ability to create what we focus on. So whatever you focus on, that's what's going to show up. It's law of manifestation. It's amazing. Pay attention to all that God gives, and you get more. Focus on lack, and you get less. Thank God throughout the day, and you will be blessed with abundance. How cool is that? And say thank you to other people too. Abundance comes in many forms. Offer gratitude for being alive, for the opportunities at hand, for your challenges, and the ability to find solutions. Give thanks for your health, your life, your family, and your friends. Show appreciation for your blessings even before they arrive. Thank your creator out loud for absolutely everything in your life because it is all a gift to you. And that's Emma shaking her head. The more you do so, the more you'll create. The ego forgets to be thankful. Sometimes it goes so far as to feel deprived and entitled, resentful for the lack it's actually creating. It is all so ridiculous. The ego doesn't like to be bothered with thanking God. It's too preoccupied with feeling sorry for itself, but it will enjoy the benefits that come from doing so. Tell your ego to be quiet and learn what thanking God can do. Your ego can discover how to attract flow and abundance if it joins with your spirit in giving thanks to God for everything today. Wow. So thank God is your July guidance. Focus on abundance, not lack. Focus on abundance, you get more. Focus on lack, you get less. What in the world? It sounds so simple. And maybe that's because the deck is called The Answer is Simple. How cool. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that guidance. And guess what? Gratitude is the best attitude. So in here, in the Healing Calendar 365, there's actually a gratitude journal in the back. There's about 10 pages with about 4 entries per page. It isn't totally great, but it's a start. So this is called the Above the Cloud Cover Gratitude Journal. It's on page 123 in your calendar, or you can take a blank journal and open it up to a blank piece of paper and have at it. So I would encourage you to stop the podcast, to stop the webinar, and journal. What are you grateful for? Today, I am grateful for here we go. I'm going to tell you what I'm grateful for. Let me just model the way here. I'm going to open it up here, and I'm going to go to my page, and I'm going to write the date here, and I'm going to write, I'm grateful for perseverance. I'm grateful for hard work. I'm grateful for patience. I'm grateful for persistence, to stay with something even when it's difficult. I'm going to stay with it. So stick with itness is tenacity, perseverance, hard work, patience, persistence. Today, that's what I'm feeling. I'm grateful for just sticking it out, holding the line, maintaining. All of that is so important, especially when things are not great. If they're great, great. But again, I can start thanking God and watch more of that abundance come in. So that's what I'm grateful for. I'm going to bring more abundance in. I'm going to be more focused on abundance and less on lack. Okay, so stop the tape, listen to my generational talk here, stop your audio player, if you will, and spend some time talking to yourself a bit about what you're grateful for. Okay, so intentions are huge when you are manifesting or when you're trying to guide your way through. This is not always about productivity, because busyness does not equal productivity. Doing this is not your self-worth. If you can separate yourself out from what you do and the things you get done, that's half the battle. If you can really just intend, and that's not with your computer brain, that's not with your thinky science, empirical, think it through. It's about establishing heart intentions. So if you need to distract your brain for a second, this is a deep breath with your eyes closed. What is it that you intend for the month of July? And as you'll see here, I intend to rest a lot. I intend I've been really scattered in May and June. I intend to just shut it down, restart, recalibrate, rest. And I know that a lot of you are feeling chronic stress, burnout, frustration there. So rest might be just what the doctor ordered. So whatever your intention is, it's interesting, not really a place to write that anywhere in the Healing Calendar 365. So I often write it off to the side, but I'm just going to write rest. Here you go. I'm just going to write rest. Okay. So yeah, and actually, yeah, so July is actually page 72. So I'm going to write July, week 25-ish. I'm going to put rest there. I put it in the wrong spot. So there you go. There's my rest. That's my intention. So this is the opportunity we can review last month's goals. If you have been trucking through and trucking along, please take this seriously. I, on the other hand, only had consistency with Wordle. That was the only thing that I did consistently this last month of June and May. I would argue those 2 months, Wordle was like the only thing that I did consistently. Exercise no. This is literally what I can tell you, and that's okay. Sometimes rest meets a goal. Sometimes that is the goal. And if you're a terrible rester like I am, it's amazing when you can actually seize the moment and just shut it off. Do you know where your off switch is? Do you even know if you have one? Mine is right back here. You just kind of pull the plug and woo, rest. It takes me about 3 days to unwind, but once I've unwound, I stay off. And I try to stay off. That's boundary establishing. That's parameter putting. Establish the boundaries around your rest, and you will bring that abundance back in. If you're just running on empty, you're going to just be on fumes, and it's going to be hard for everybody. So I did rested, and I have never done this before. So this was a big first for me. I went to Central America. I've never been there before. And my kids were unsupervised at my lovely in-laws. I'm so grateful for their kind attention to taking care of our babies. And we were able to go to Belize for a week. And it was awesome. You can do it in a very inexpensive way. You can buy your tickets way ahead of time. You can rent an Airbnb or a VRBO very inexpensively. And then you can make your own food. You don't have to eat out. You don't have to do those all inclusive. You can do something a little more rugged and just rest. I mean, literally my goal for this was to sit by the beach and do nothing all week. And that is what we did. So we also drove down to a Mayan ruin so Belize City is in the north. We were about 2 hours south along the coast of Belize. And then inland, about an hour and a half south of there, is this small palace ruin with a few tombs and some really neat like astrology. There's a game court where they play they would emulate the universe, and then there's like they would watch the sun and astronomy by where the sun would hit these rocks, as you can see in this photo. This place was called Nim Li Punit. It's a Mayan ruin. It's very small, but that is Mayan for big hat. So it's up on a mountain in Kekshi. That's the language. In this spot, there were 20 monuments, and it was placed in the late classical period. It was neat to learn about the timeline. Architecture and materials and styles are all the same as those used in that area. Many places in Guatemala, many places in Mexico, and many places in Belize during this time period all looked very similar. So, and also it goes also south into Honduras. So really cool that we were able to access this beautiful spot. And it was just, we didn't take a guide. We went by ourselves, and we went slow. And that was the antithesis to my fast moving life, was to go slow and rest. And we never give ourselves permission to do that. We never save our resources to do that. And that is what I did. And that is what I needed to do, for the goal of resting. So it is situated, this Nimli Punit is situated along the top of a ridge in the foothills of the Maya Mountains. There is a ceremonial center, a stela plaza, a ball court. There is a 12-meter structure and several palaces, all there. And there was a large tomb discovered with 5 bodies and about 40 ceramic vessels. This was the house or the place of residence of an elite ruler of the area. There were mounds, there were hieroglyphics, and it's about 25 miles north of Punta Gorda, if you want to look on a map. That's where I was. So the ancient Mayan culture, I didn't know anything about it other than my project that I did in 6th grade English class. We were able to study the Maya, the Inca, and the Aztec. But as a grown person, I didn't know anything else besides what I had learned as a 12-year-old. So it was really cool to just kind of enlarge my cultural fluency as I had time and space to do that. So they flourished, the ancient Maya culture flourished from around 2000 BC across the southeastern corner of Mesoamerica. There are 3 subregions: the highlands, the central lowlands, and the northern lowlands. The volcanic mountain ranges of southern highlands rise about 14,000 feet and extend from southwest Chiapas in Mexico to Nicaragua. So this is a huge area. Obsidian produced knives, weapons, and sacrificial blades. Jade, quetzal, bird feathers, granite, and hematite. These resources were controlled by cities, and dense tropical forests and rolling terrain, navigatable rivers. Trading canoes traveled along these rivers, and they exchanged jaguar skins, flint, marine shells, salt, granite, and cacao from the lowlands. So there's a lot of really cool trade and commerce going on. Maya never lived in isolation. They always had contact with their neighbors. And then I go on and on and on, of course. But there was one thing that I learned. We found a jade ornament in the shape of a T. Looks like that. And this in Maya language is actually the sign for ik, I-K, ik. It is the Mayan word for wind. The wind brings rain. And on the back of this ornament has 30 hieroglyphics. And there's a discussion about the weather and the wearer. So the wind is so important to the wearer. This is someone who is a royal person. This is called the wind jewel, and it is worn on the chests of kings during sacred incense burnings. Ik represents the breath of life and the wind that brings rain. The important role of bringing substance and life. So this ruler that wore this ik chest ornament, his name was Jana Obi Kanish. And he would put his chest, he would wear it on his chest, and he would use it as he scattered burning incense around. It told about his mother and his father. His father was also an incense burner and an incense scatterer. So this was a very powerful, important thing. And this was happened in 652. And so that's the beginning of this very important place. This was kind of this inaugural spot that he had just taken over. The Mayan people loved nature and they loved being outside. They were full of life and strength. Ik means breath of life, and ik is often carved onto musical instruments. And it is often linked to the Quetzal bird, which was a sacred bird. Ik means the way or the wind. You are full of imagination, life, and strength. You're a great inventor, artist, and writer. If you think about the Quetzal, you are strikingly colorful, just like the birds. In the Trogon family, they have beautiful iridescent green or golden green wing coverlets on their back of their head, and they have a red belly. They're beautiful. If you want to look up Quetzal, they're just beautiful birds. They were sacred and they were precious to the Mayan people. And the bird was considered divine. So I'm learning about all of these things as I am walking around these beautiful Mayan ruins. Just beautiful. This was in the middle of their court. This is their ball court. This was the center of the universe represented in their game. And then this was the view from the mountain that we were sitting on. So that is what happened. And then I started working on shadow work. I started healing my shadow self, and that got really deep really quickly. But again, I had space to do it. So I wanted to share a little bit about the wind symbol and the wind energy with you that the Mayan people have left behind. And I was able to witness that and observe that while I was there. So I would like to then think about July as more rest, more space, more rest and more space. So that's what July is for me. There's no being, there's no doing, there's nothing, just rest. And so if that means resting in the persistence of being enoughness, not perfection, not exceeding or excelling, just existing, but in a powerful way. Lots of Reiki, I believe, will come into this space too. So I always like to think of the year in threes. We're wrapping up. We've wrapped up season two of our episode. And this is the beginning of Q3. So what's going to happen for third quarter? What do you intend there? So just kind of thinking about that bigger picture. So you can stop now if you want. Draw a picture. What are you observing here? What are you feeling? What sensations have come up? What is going through your head? What are some ideas that kind of have emerged? What are some themes? What are some ideas? Give yourself a chance to pause here, and then you can write this down. So I'm also going to stop here because I don't share anything that happens on our close, authentic discussions. And after I post this, there's been a lot of discussion too offline about July. So feel free to have your own discussion either in your calendar, make some plans, make some thoughts in your journal, or your smaller journals, whatever floats your boat. Or if you've got your own calendar, I obviously have all 5 of those options, but you can do that. Call someone, have a focus partner, have a mentee, co-mentoring situation where you can work on the stuff. I mean, really, it's fun and wonderful work. Okay, so keep in mind that I'm here to help you as your guide to unfolding your holistic leader within. I've been making tools for the last 8 years Sonrisa will be 8 in July. Sonrisa Products, I opened in 2014. I can't believe it's been 8 years, but I've been making tools. I have been working on my own leadership as a leadership coach. So martial arts, I've been working with martial arts for 3 years. I've been working with Reiki for 5. I've been writing for about 3, even though technically I've been writing since about 2001. But point is, I've been working on this stuff for a long time, and I'm here to be with you as you uncover your own wisdom within. So I am available for time to sit with you and noodle with you. And if you need an extra boost of energy, please let me know. I'd be happy to help make things move a little bit differently, to just witness that unfolding. So you can reach me at Laura, Laura at sonrisaproducts.com. And we can set up a virtual appointment, or if you're local, I would love to have you in my Reiki room, and I'll put you on my table here, and we'll go to town. So I would love to hear from you. Also save the date here for our next First Friday. It's actually going to be on August. Is that right? August 1st? No, that's not. It's sorry, I just got confused. The first Friday on August 5th. Sorry, this is July 1st. That's why I was like, ooh, no. August 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is our next live event. So feel free to come on, register at sonrisaproducts.com/healing365, get the calendar, start doing the work, and the consistency is what pays off. It's really awesome. So that's all I have, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to close by saying thank you. Let's go back to thanking God, thanking the abundance that has showed up here today. Thinking about our intentions, thinking about our goals, thinking about our gratitude, thinking about some of the things that we've been able to observe and practice and learn. And hey, thank you for messing up. Thank you for failing. Thank you for doing something so horribly that you could only learn from it. Thank you for living life and giving it a chance. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I am Laura Newberry Yoakley. I am a Reiki master. I am an author. I am a holistic leadership coach. And I am here exactly for you. So I can't wait to hear from you. And I hope you have a great month. And I'll see you in August.